Hi, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Can you hear me? Hi, Andrea. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, awesome.
Great. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I'm seeing you participate in a few kind of like 3DK meetings that we have.
Yes.
So, um, and you from HRL, I just want to learn more about things like, are you doing something in this around this kind of like standardizations for the 3DK or assembly?
Yes, yes, exactly. So we're working, we're part of NGMM, and also we work on 2.5D, 3D integration. And basically, absolutely, we're interested in one, understanding where the industry is going, but also uh, kind of participating or being able to kind of see what the needs are and how we can help, ideally. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Good to hear that. Good to hear that to have participate, I
Yes.
think from you guys. Um
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think last time we talked about like actually today is for the assembly design kit, but I think in the other meeting, like alternate meeting that we have at the same time slot, I think like previously in previous meeting, I didn't see you, but previously I think we talked about there's some probably I think material property
Yes.
information we can help with, right?
Yes, I
So
was looking for the link. Can you, I don't know if we have to start, if we can look, if we look in the, and then I was looking through the network and I was trying to find, will this be the Excel or would it be the Word document now for the material database?
yeah, right now we have the Excel. I think we have yeah, I think we're happy. I think to I mean like, if you have a Word document as well, that's fine. I think we can always put into that. I think is help on both sides. I think the Excel is mainly help to provide the structure on the data. Eventually you want
Yes,
to create a format on it. But if it's something with documents that convenient that you have, I think we can use that and then and take the information put into the Excel as well.
perfect. No, that
Uh,
definitely, yeah, next week I have a kind of open um a time to kind of put something thoughts together. And so the meeting for the that will be also in the beginning of the year, right? The next,
yes, the next meeting will be will be on the beginning of the year since I think next week everyone will be
Mhm.
away. It is kind of between the Christmas and the New Year, so and yeah, we will resume in the New Year again, and we were also planning to writing a white paper,
Yes,
so that using that white paper, I think whatever document you have, I think that would be useful there. So I think and then that will be able to provide more description, just more than just a structure there.
absolutely. Yes, I will definitely work on that one too.
Yeah, I was happy to share with you. I think let me share with the link once why we are here. I think uh the turnout might be low today, so because it's closer to holiday, I think there might be some um
Yes,
the the email notification might send out accidentally, I think to everyone. I think that was summer meeting was canceled, but we was actually planning to resume this. And actually we was talking to the, by the way, I just show you the Excel. Hi, Michael and Roger. So we're just kind of talking to Angelica and the other meeting. So I just show you that Excel. Angelica, please take a look. So back to this meeting, I think we since we uh what was talking about earlier. Let me share my screen quickly. Yeah, we were actually talking to Intel. I think from previous meetings. I think for some of you it was not here, right? We're trying to get them right. They have assembly design rules kind of related to what we're doing here. We're trying to get them to present in this meeting to help to provide the content and the spec. I think that we can work together, I think, with them to with the group here to talk on the common interest of the assembly design kits or design rules here, right? So we have discussion with them. I think they are kind of off for the holiday, so I think we trying to get that back, get them back. I think after the New Year, so have them to present the information. I think to a group here, and then we can use that. I think to go from there. Same thing as they share and did a presentation on the diary framework. This will be more focusing on the assembly rules framework. So and hopefully we'll get them. I think after in the meeting after the New Year. Most likely, I think maybe on the second week of the meeting, third week. I think that was the second meeting, not the first week. Then I think they seems like they might not be returning. I think on that first week. So I think just for the information here.
So, James, has Intel provided yet a sample of what those rules will be?
He showed to a few of us, I think, in the meetings, initial meeting with them, when we trying to explain to them what we're trying to achieve. So we not yeah
Are you referring to the Y die?
not the
files?
white die. It's a different one. It's assembly rules. It's the other thing. Small assembly is not on the white die. Yeah, we have the white die, but we not the assembly rules. Yeah.
Okay, so where can we find a copy of those assembly rules now?
We don't have that yet, so we still having get them to share it. I think with the group here, want to share the group, then we can able to then once they present here in the group, then we were able to go from there. We haven't reached, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So we're trying to get them. I think to the group. I think on after New Year, right? To share with the group here. Yeah. So I think we're all turned out. I thought I should send an email to reminder to everyone we still have a Zoom meeting, but seems like I thought I saw they will send an email already, but I think it's like that might be confusing. So anyway, I think it seems like rolled out. Maybe we can like keep these slightly short here. I think I just want to quickly share. I think so far what we have. I think or what I have from last time when we talked about here, right? So I think that's what we talked about. The first one, the meeting to get the intel to present. I think we will need to follow up again. I think in the new year and see when they will be available. And now I think from previous meeting we talked about we're going to focus in around the assembly rules for starting with the silicon interposer, and then then we have another item, right? Asking about Roger, right? So Roger, you if right as can share, I think like some information or example that you have.
Yeah. I still work with the Taiwan team to get there. They are doing the internal review to check what I can share with the team. Yeah, I may have the further feedback in maybe next over the January meeting.
Okay, got it. In 2 weeks, yes. Okay, that's good to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume it generally take time. I think to review. I think I think in general we just want kind of like very generic information. So
you know,
once
someone mentioned the design rule is very sensitive wording, you know.
Yeah, some of them we are sensitive, so we want that. Yeah, understood. Totally. We do what we you guys before, and then we work with other assemblers. So a lot of this information we have to sign NDA. We will before we can receive.
Yeah. So just allow me to have the more time to nego and discuss with the internal team. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah, appreciate that. So let me share. I think from that, I think I'm kind of expanding like what we have from conversion last time. So I think initially we have this component layer, right? So we cover many different layers, and then we talk about we want to cover on silicon interposer. So I kind of create this tab just to share with you guys. I think that kind of a different area. I think parameter potentially, and then just kind of create attention. I think expanding further on rules on that. I think there could be different rules on different area. I think so. Like Roger, I think for your references, probably some of these example could be like way as generic as just kind of diameter, distance, and things like that, without even referring to what are the specific those kind of things, right? Area and things like that, way generic. So that might be good enough. And then that same information can cover many different areas, right? I think this and again is a format intended not for the again the the proprietary data information, like what specific clearance or rules, like that, example. I think that might be. I think proprietary to a specific technique. It's more about kind of like providing a standard format can support that one, right? If it's a distance, if it's like the kind of like the areas and things like that, there's some parameters that user can define their own rules, and then they can provide their own kind of proprietary unit and parameters there can support that. I think that will be sufficient. We don't need to know what are the rules and what kind of actually the numbers or parameters in there, or where it is actually used specifically. But we do kind of use this as a guideline to help us to find out what are the information are needed in general.
So in this line here, when you're talking about the interconnect, the parameter is minimum pitch. Is this the minimum distance between the output of on one die to the input on the other die? Is that what you're referring to here?
Minimum pitch can be many, right? Prior to wear traces could be minimum pitch between microbumps or between the wears and things like that one. Right? It could be many things.
But in terms of interconnect, it is the minimum pitch for the interposer that connects two paths together, right? I think two could be minimum trace to trace, could be minimum via to via, could be minimum
Could be, yeah,
pad
could
to
be. We
pad.
just need to know, right, could be, yeah. It just not defined, just kind of put a placeholder. I think so we have to correct feedback from the group. I think yeah. So since that we have a low turnout today, so we might have to, yeah. I think talk again. I think revisit this again when more people. I think available. I think in the next meeting after the new year. Yeah,
So
just want to.
Are you familiar with the rules that's in the DFM process on the Valor software? They have rules for fabrication and assembly of printed circuit boards. On the fabrication side, then they would break it down into a set of rules for trace, set of rules for drills, set of rules for pads, solder mask, if you had any solder mask on the product. They would break all the rules down accordingly like that. And then within each category, you'd probably have close to, I would say, 100+ rules. And when it comes to saying things like minimum pitch, they allow you to select the feature being a copper trace or a via or a pad or a drill hole or the edge of the, in this case, the edge of a PCB, could be the edge of in our case, the active zone on a die. And it allows you to select the first feature and then selects the second feature and then specify what your minimum constraint is and what your preferred constraint is. Wouldn't it be a good idea to take that type of structure and apply it here, so that you start with something out of the box that helps you have some organization of all of the rules?
Which rule are you talking about?
When I spoke there about the Valor software, this is in general to all the DFM rules that they have.
Yes, we do. I think that. So I think like there's something being. I think yes, I think that's something. I think that's why Roger here. I think they are from the assembly, right? So they have a lot of information there. I think they can provide. I think our information. I think share with the group. And another thing is like something we have to be clear about. I think this is probably not into I think that's something probably a quick to start. I think that's why again that's why we're talking to Rogers here. I think and see if SC can share something with those kind of rules. And then I think that will be a good starting point from there. But meanwhile, while we're waiting on that, I think since we have seen some of this a lot of this kind of very generic rules, right? I think from many different assemblers, I think so I'm just trying to put them together, and that's why also we're trying to get from Intel as well. Intel foundries, they have all this kind of assembly rules as well, right? So we're trying to get their input as well. So we just kind of get correct draw, I think from multiple sources, and so that we have a good coverages. And then come up with a format that can support for many use cases and many users.
Okay.
Yeah. So any questions from any of you or others, Andrea or Roger? Do you have any questions on this? I think that's the only thing I want to share. I think since the roll turned out again, only few people is, I don't want to stay that long because we're likely going to repeat this again in the next meeting. But since we're all here, I think we can always have do some just want to share with you guys what we have so far, and then we can have some maybe some of us can, I think I can have take some initiative. I think to if this is a good idea and direction, we can start expanding on this and then have more to share in the next meeting.
Can you give us put the link to the assembly design kit into your chat there?
Sure, yeah, I share in that weekly meeting, so I think that everyone should be able to, if you get my weekly meeting, I think you should get that in there.
When I click the link that you have in there, when I click on it, it brings me to the materials design kits, but not to the assembly design kits.
You mean in that meeting link? Yeah.
In the meeting chat that you have now.
Oh yeah. That's a different one. That is a sharing with the Angel. So I think that's for the different. I just talking to Angel. I think for different purposes. So yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, I just share you a new one.
Okay, so you're saying in the meeting it's okay.
I just share. Yeah, click on the next one, not the first one. Yeah, that one only for Angel. Hey Tony.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
sorry,
we have right long.
I overran my previous meeting, but I'm sorry about that.
No worries. We're all turned out anyway today. I just thought we almost kind of like done. Almost like I thought like yeah, I think there was some kind of like Bobby canceled some, I think meetings. I think 2 weeks probably accidentally canceled this one. Although we sent out email saying that it will be resumed, but I guess some people might not might miss that second email. But I think I just for your quick recap update here, I think I just kind of went over quickly. I shared with the team here. I think from previous agenda, I think we was originally planning to invite Intel to present here, but they're not available until next year. So we're going to follow up with them again. And then we kind of talk a bit about from what we discussed previously. We're going to focus on the silicon interposals. And then we follow up with Roger just now, and then he's still checking with the internet team from Taiwan to give an update on the next meeting, what information they might be able to share at the time then, if any. So and then with that, then I'm just kind of went over, I think this spreadsheet that we have from what we talked about last time. We want to start with the interposals, silicon interposals, so that kind of expand a little bit, I think what parameter it is, and then kind of expand that, tell what kind of potential rules could be put into around this parameter. So we just kind of press order. I think I just kind of propose over here for the team, and then see get the feedback and see if that's the right direction or how we want to proceed there. I think that's where we are at the status. So so Tony, do you have any feedback or input on regarding this, or anything else you want to share with the team here?
Nothing that's jumping at the top of my head here.
Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, it's close to the end of the year anyway, so.
Oh, hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hi. I think I just think about the you mentioned before. I just want to check if my comment is suitable to reply to your questions. Yeah, once we got the I just used the different scenario for the customer demand, and we can discuss it together. Sometimes customer always define the I/O bump, how many I/O bump. Then ODSA can follow our general rule to design the die size, right? Then we will use the for example, for the free chip BGA for copper pillar bump, we may use the 130 or the 110 or the 150 as the bump pitch. If customer concerned, they don't want to have any risk, and maybe we can suggest 130. Okay, and the other one thing is if customer has the IO count requirement, and also they define the die size, sometimes they will do that. Then after doing the calculation, maybe the bump pitch need to need down to the 110 or the 90 micron. So it's the other option. You got my point?
Yeah.
To me, that would be just customer would have a set of design rules, and the fab would have a set of design rules, and you just have to set a priority as to which set of design rules that you follow. But both sets of design rules would we want to be in the same format.
Well, you also have the assemblers too involved, right? So when you're designing these systems, right, you've got multiple parties at play. You have you may have multiple chiplet dividers, so you may have 2 different chiplet dividers that are working in different ASIC technologies, so they're going to have kind of manufacturing rules, and then the package, the OSATs are going to have rules, and substrate providers are going to have rules, and for your fan out. So the way I view this is ultimately the end customer will have to work with each of the vendors and kind of come up with a common set of actual rules. So I think each of the vendors would provide kind of min-max. I can support a bump pitch, from 80 to 150, and then you'd have to kind of look at come up with the least common denominator to see what is the finest pitch that will work for all this stuff. Whoever's doing the interposer, that could be a separate third party as well. Or if you're using a fan out technology, you have to look at those rules. So what we're trying to do here is provide the format for specifying the rules. So I think we need mechanisms to for all of these kind of pitch type and dimensional pin width, that kind of stuff. We need to be able to support kind of a min max, and then really it's really kind of the burden is going to be on the end user to do this. Now, I think what will happen over time, there may be kind of, let's call this maybe there's we can come up and say, hey, this is a standardized 20 nanometer interposer rule set, right? So at least that way, we could say, all right, this is a common set of rules. So then all the vendors can go off and say, all right, we need to support these rules, and maybe there's different families of those. So I think this is we're trying to enable that discussion and kind of a definition of some common reusable packaged assembly design kits, if you will, rather than just making it full custom every time you try to do one of these things. So we're really just providing the format to be able to do that, and maybe even eventually having some tools to help kind of aggregate all that data and define that common set of rules.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you got a point. Due to the lot of the scenario and the cost, if we sign the NDA, it's easy to proceed. It's due to the we can get the more information and co-work with the customer directly to get the details. Yeah, but if we want to the general rule, maybe you need to depend on the different package type and think about how to define the general rule. Maybe we must have default, just like you mentioned, the die must without lapping is the 31 mil as the standard, and the core and the substrate core is the 800 core standard thickness core. Yeah, we must define some limited factors. Then we can come out the general by different by different package structure. Yes, you got the point. Yes.
So before we can have that conversation, we need to have a language. And that's what we're trying to do in CDX, is provide that common format or language that will enable all these different ecosystem participants to be able to define.
You mean a common data format, not
Yes.
a common data architecture, not a common language.
Yeah, I'm using language. I'm taking poetic license. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
specifically, we're creating a format, but you know that will be the mechanism that we use to describe all this rules. And we did talk about, you know, a lot of this information is proprietary, so we will at some point need to have the ability to obfuscate or encrypt some of the secret sauce of these rules. But still enable that you know conversation to happen. And yeah, so maybe the min-max range isn't specified, but you know we can get at all that information and figure out what is a common set, and then just publish that one number without giving everybody's rules away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yes. So yeah, hopefully again this hopefully get some things to think about, and when I think when we have more people coming back in the next meeting, I think that we will kind of share this, and also and get the thought, and if this is something a good direction, I think and then we'll hopefully I can get more helps to come up with this kind of rules that are necessary to support that, and then hopefully we can get more also information from the other assemble information, presentation from assemble like Intel or ASC, and then we can together I put into more comprehensive information of the rules.
So James, can you? Why do we have lines 6, 7, and 8 in here? How is that related to ADKs?
7 and 8. I think from what we originally talked about, we want to cover some thermal here, and then like some. You think we should not cover that those kind of rules here? That's initially what we talked about, and some people suggested we put in there, and then it's in the integrity, so there's some may not be here. I think that probably something when I came out about more coming from testing side, I thought about putting there, but probably we can go into their mechanical stress. Yeah, you think we should not cover mechanical stress? I thought that's something could be. I think probably something coming from packaging side.
It would be an advantage if we can have some predictive modeling or some sort of provision in the ADK, right? To be able to guide the design maybe in early stages. That would be nice, but maybe it's like a gap with the EDA tools at this moment too. But I think as a vision, I think it's nice to. Is that how you feel about it?
Well, are you familiar with the MDK initiative?
The material, yes.
Yeah. So I view that's probably more applicable for the analysis side, right? You need those material properties, but you know, the physical, these are primarily physical dimensions that we're dealing with in these rule decks.
Yes.
Right. So
yes, that's right.
So I think you know, combining the rules that you come up with the material properties would enable you know, that analysis, whether it be predictive or actual.
Right. For instance, you maybe some based on the material that there's some and thermal management constraints for reliability, say, then you might end up with certain distances, minimum, maximum, so forth, and density of certain layers as well. Absolutely. So basically, it's almost as if those electrical, thermoelectrical constraints kind of drive some of the rules, right? But
I see.
but the rules themselves, right? The rules themselves are the ADK. What do you call it? The rules themselves are what's the hard definition of an ADK, I guess, assembly design rule, right? But I think, see, I don't know how we can push the I don't know if the industry is the right way, but kind of yeah, I guess push for this kind of understanding unless we lay it all together. But maybe that's not right either. I don't know. I definitely see a point to put them here, but I understand. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you're saying the environment may actually may impact the rules. You're saying, for example,
Exactly.
rad hard or cryogenic or kind of extremes that if you're working under those conditions, then there's different set of rules. Is that kind of where you're leaning?
Exactly, and then
I
it'll
see.
all depend on what you're doing too, like power levels, what architecture, what your 3D IC trinket or 3D HI trinket is doing for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So your specific ADK, basically, absolutely.
I'm a little confused here now. How does the environment impact the design rule values? If you are trying to hand over from one company to another company a set of design rules that need to be complied with in order to put this die onto an interposer, and the environment at the second company is changing, are you supposed to then provide a unique set of rules for each environment's configuration?
No, I think the rules are the rules, right? The rules are fixed. It's a matter of, like you said, lines and spacings, pitch, probably also how you can stack them, right? Maybe via 1, 2 cannot be stacked over via 2, 3, and 3, 4, for instance, just an example. But as far as how those precise line spaces and rules get defined, that has input from thermal management and so other application and so other some other considerations. Basically, is it how to get to those rules? Yeah.
Right. So, but the processing of generating that stack up, whether I put die on top of die, that's subject to, first of all, the processed rules, and then once if I'm able to do it from a process perspective, then the secondary set of rules that applies now is that if I do it in this configuration from a process perspective, will it thermally and electrically still deliver the performance that I'm looking for? But that's secondary.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So that process of how to apply the rules is no different than what you would use in a printed circuit board fabrication shop. It's the same criteria. If the process evolves to the point that you can use a finer pitch in spacing between the pads, the holes, the traces, etc., you can build that into your rules and then apply that throughout the layout design process. But subsequently, after that, you then have to go and do all your thermal analysis and your signal integrity analysis to see if it still delivers the performance. And so, and if not, then you go back and you cycle through that loop again.
That's precisely that's the issue, that if it's a 3D IC, it gets a lot more complicated and more expensive to kind of go back in these loops, right? Design loops. So it would help if there is some sort of consideration up front, some sort of additional parameters, additional information within these ADK or instances, instantiations of this ADK that helps kind of. So from that point of view, I agree. I agree 100%. Either way, whether you leave it or we take it out, I see a justification for both. I like it that it's in just because it kind of opens up maybe next gen, analysis or next. I'm not sure if it's next gen, but it opens up for further improvement there too. Yeah, but
what when you say you like to have something in, what type of data are you thinking about adding it into the rule to help provide predictions going forward?
So imagine
yield information.
Well, so I was thinking so imagine so say you're laying out I'm most familiar with, say, analog design. So you're laying out an an RFPA, for instance, and you sometimes you have if you go from schematic to layout, most of the time not automated, and when one thing you can have is you can have in situ feedback, right? Of things that you try to snap things together. It says no, you get a message back. This is not allowed. So if we envision something similar for the 3D IC, something like someone's trying to put together, I don't know, a 800 milliwatt, a PA next to some other layer that can't quite handle that kind of heat, and then underneath you have maybe some other processing chip, and so that sort of a idea behind this, basically, maybe doing what we're accustomed to see at the electrical level, maybe being done at the thermal level. But
so that means from a standardization point of view, you're going to have to abstract these concepts from the design and then build rules around those abstracts.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be helpful, for instance. As you know, these get very convoluted, right? If you invest every chip, right, could be its own 1 to 3 months, depending on how much IP you leverage and so forth. Yeah.
That's where the devil is in the detail.
Exactly. That's why it's nice if we maybe far-reaching standards to kind of hopefully encompass maybe what we think the future might bring, or what we beg the EDA folks to help us with, or what we actually need to take to ourselves and develop as well. Yeah. And actually, along these lines, how do we? And this for sure, I don't think we need a line for this, but so for instance, to be able to evaluate interface like UCIe interfaces for, say, digital signal loss and such thing, do we have standards for that somewhere? Definitely not a material. It's definitely an electrical, and the SI side of things here. So do we have well-defined? Are we happy with Are we happy with the 3D IC digital signal integrity, or say what's out there, standards?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any standards now. Actually, there is with respect to stress analysis.
Yeah.
There, and I know, when I was in my previous life at East Silicon, TSMC would provide some guidelines in terms of chiplet spacing, between an HBM and a die, in order to provide good thermal reliability for warpage, right? So there's a certain amount of spacing that's required. If you're too close or too far, you may have some reliability issues. So that they tend to be more recommendations. So we actually followed their recommendation, and we had no warpage issues, but we actually ended up getting thermal coupling between the die and the HBM, and that was a problem. So I think at the end of the day, the suppliers, whether it be fab or OSAT, substrate, whatever, can define some guidelines or maybe rules, but that class of rule, I think the way that we've kind of thought about this is, so in the 80Ks, there's really kind of there's really trying to think So in these design kits, we're defining kind of the spacing rules for bump pitch. So those are the rules that are required to figure out where to place those connectivity components on the die. So there's pitch and spacing and those kind of rules. There's also special rules, you know, that may be how far it has to be from a corner, rules to, you know, if you're changing your pitch, there may be rules that, you know, require you need a transitional pitch, or you need a certain spacing before you change a pitch. So those are all kind of placement type rules for your connectivity. And then you have your kind of connectivity rules, you know, the width and spacing of the wires that are used, you know, whether it be an interposer or the substrates. And so those are, I think, what we would call the normal ADK, you know, assembly design rules. Those are typically what you're going to see in the DRM. But we are also, in addition to those traditional ADRs, if you will, we do want to include a separate set of rules that are a little bit more user-defined general purpose.
Yes.
And that would be kind of like that. That's one example, you know, die-to-die spacing in a silicon interposer. Photonics, there may be special rules. You know, your packaging technology, there may be rules on how far you place a TSV from a trench capacitor, you know. So these would be very, you know, kind of outside the traditional rules. How far you space a die from, you know, the corner of your substrate, right? All these kind of other assembly rules that, you know, maybe they're not really manufacturing rules, but they are
Layout rules, basically, right? Assembly.
Rules. Yeah. So I think
So
we want to group those in a separate kind of user extensible section.
Right. I think, Tony, what we need to be very clear about as we go down through defining all of these rules is which category does this rule belong to? If it's to do with process, then it may go into assembly design kit. But if it's to do with, as Andrea said, they're electrical, then it might be an extremely similar rule. It might even be exactly the same rule. But you would, because it falls in under the electrical classification, the only blinkers that you should have on in defining that rule is electrical constraints. And you should not try to intermix two conditions into the one rule. They should be separate and kept as two separate rules, because when it fails, then you have a clear pointer to say, we're failing this rule because it is the process related versus because it is electrical performance related.
Right.
So in JEDEC, when they define functions like a particular interface, they define the constraints associated with that function. What they'll say is this signal needs to have this level of integrity by the time it leaves the device to the time it receives the device. But what they don't specify under the electrical constraints is say that this is the maximum length that you need to have between the 2 points, because that maximum length for one type of material might deliver the signal integrity that you want at the destination, but in a different material it may not. And so you have to separate out what the physical elements are from the performance elements into two separate sets of criteria, and that's what's going to be challenging for us.
Right. And another example would be electromigration rules, right? That's not a manufacturing rule. It depends on the current and your application, right? So it depends on how much current is running through there and how long and the width and all that kind of stuff. So I think that the analysis tools need to be used to do the analysis, and you know, there's probably guidelines that are defined, but I think those are user specific application type rules. So I think it's fine to have a mechanism to be able to describe those rules, but I think, you know, maybe that's a user defined. I think that should be separate than what we have in here.
Yeah, you're right. It should be separate, but I think it should be supported by the same ADK
Sure.
source, right? Mainly
Yes,
the foundry.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yes. So maybe we just call it user defined, and we put a few samples in there, examples, but you know, the nice thing about XML is it's extensible. You can add whatever rules you want, right? We're just enabling the mechanism. Now, back to the environment, I think if there are indeed manufacturing rules that do have some environment conditions, let's just say, you know, these rules are valid from, you know, -40 to 125C, then we should probably have a parameter for that, you know, so maybe it's a column, an environment column that it is applicable, and you know, probably most of the rules it's not applicable, but there may be some rules that might, you know, have environment related. So
yeah, but you're right, Tony. Putting the parameter into the rule enables you to define more clearly the conditions of that rule, and like, for example, component to component spacing in a PCB assembly. Well, it's all depending on the type of technology you're going to use to assemble those components. And so you put in a parameter to say, here's the list of all the different technologies that I use. So I think what you're talking about is exactly the same construct as that.
Right. So maybe, you know, for, you know, from this range, this rule set is available, and then we need a different rule set for a different set of environment conditions. Yeah. I don't know if we want to define every possible combination in one structure. I would view it as there's multiple rule decks, if you will, that have some high level type applicability.
that works. That's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we can it's tonight. I think like column here. I think like environment, and then we'll see then if that will work out. I think like for what we're doing here.
Yeah. Just put maybe TBD in parentheses, right? Because we're not sure any of these roles, and we are going to be relying on, you know, our fab collaborators and our OSAT collaborators to tell us, you know, if any of these rules do have conditions, and if not, we can eliminate it. But so let's just leave it there as a TBD to see if there are any specific rules.
Yeah.
So is this one sheet in this ADK, or do you have multiple sheets, or is this the only sheet?
Multiple sheets. So we started with components, right? So we're original one, and then we want to focus on sequence also. So I kind of break down this one more, just extract information from there into here, and now kind of expand that into the specific rules. I think applicable to this also.
All right. So I think we agree we can remove 6, 7, and 8 from here, and
you sure we want to remove 6, 7, and 8? Oh, there's some rules about thermal, right?
Well, but it doesn't go in this assembly ADK. I think why don't we call it general purpose design rules or user defined rules? I think it's a separate sheet.
They're all a type of simulation of some sort: thermal simulation, signal integrity simulation, stress simulation.
No, you're talking about analysis. I'm just talking about these user defined rules. I think we want provisions for user defined rules, some samples. I think it's a separate.
I'm agreeing with you, Tony. I think we should put them into some form of analysis rule sets.
So we separate that for now. Okay, we'll put press order then.
Okay.
Okay, looks good for now. I think yeah, I think
I think if we look at the Intel samples that they're going to go through, and they have already done that with some EDA vendors. So I've seen them. I think the categories of rules, I think they have those articulated pretty well. So I think we should adopt those in column A.
Yeah, right. So hopefully, yeah, we can get them. I think to present it. I think in the new year, right, in one of the meetings.
Right.
And yeah, I think that'll be a great start there.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not inventing this from scratch, right? I mean, people have existing rules, right? So we're trying to get a broad section from multiple sources and then just put them in an organized fashion. So I think, Intel will give us a good starting point. They've offered that. Roger, I don't know if you're the right guy, but I would like ASE to provide some that just kind of another general category. So for our fab and OSATs, let's say for now, but there may be other vendors. I think we want them to provide the summary of the types of rules that we need, and I think we probably need a separate set of collection for organic and silicon. And we may want to be a little more specific, and interposer, fan out, substrate, PCB. I don't know how we want to organize this. So we need to, summarize each of those classes of rules, and then there's going to be a bunch of rules under those categories. The other thing we'd like from, again, the fabs and the OSAT and Intel is providing several test cases that we can use to actually check to make sure we've captured it and we have the ability to check rules, because eventually at the end of the day, we want EDA vendors to be able to have tools to support using these rules to do checks. So we're looking for those test cases, and we don't need the actual rules. In fact, you probably don't want to publish the actual rules. So we're just looking for a sample set of parameters for each of these rules, so we can go off and build some prototypes and actually go off and actually build some of these structures and have some checkers to check these rules. So that's something that I think we want to do as part of this overall exercise. So Roger, can you talk to
yeah,
Li Hong and see if
sure.
Yeah, Tony actually,
yeah.
Yeah, Roger has actually agreed. I think he has been checking with the team there. I think I will help to get some assembly information, and hopefully we'll have an update in the next meeting.
Right. So again, just change the actual values to protect the innocent, right? So just hack something up that's representative, and just so we have, and I think that will really help drive this discussion rather than just trying to brainstorm on the fly.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I think hopefully I think again, Roger will get some updates from the manufacturing in Taiwan with the team there. I think that's what he mentioned earlier.
Right.
and hope to get some information. I think not proprietary. I think and that can be shared with him.
Great. So Roger, like when we're dealing with substrates, right? You guys don't manufacture substrates, do you?
Yeah, regarding to the solder ball pitch and the size, we do have the other rule to define the PCB ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about package substrates?
Yes. So that's why I mentioned that let me think about and discuss with the team. Maybe we just select the mainstream product as the example to define this. Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, let me know, because I'm debating on whether or not we want to invite substrate providers. I was in Japan last week and I met with a couple of substrate providers and material providers, and they were very interested in what we're doing here. And as we're all well aware, the substrate providers tend to be very protective of their rules. But at least they were open to the discussion, and if we have the ability to obfuscate, but at least have those rules in a machine readable format, they were at least open to that. But if I think if you can provide a sample set of kind of rules for package substrates and test cases, that's probably a good place to start, rather than pulling in those substrate vendors for now. But eventually, once we have kind of a working prototype, I would like to then share them with the substrate providers and see if they are interested in using and also contributing to see if there's any other special rules that they would like to see included in the format.
Yeah, but for example, if we trade the big size FCBGA, maybe just for example, maybe the solder ball size is the 0.6, 0.5 millimeter. And if the small one, just like the 21 by 21, maybe use the 0.3 and 0.5. But if you think about the flip chip CSP under the 20 by 20, just like the 11 by 11, maybe use the 0.3 or 0.4 millimeter solder ball. Then we just can have the table to define by each solder ball size versus PCB solder mask opening, right? Yeah, we need to come out such of the rule for the further product firing.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that I can comment at this moment. Yeah, due to customer always have the different solder ball diameter demand, so we just have the selection table to define the rule. Then, yeah, as the general case, if have the special demand, we don't comment in this table. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there may be kind of like groupings of rules, like if you have different stacks, right? Different build-up stacks, or there would be a bunch of rules with that. And if you're going with a different layer stack.
Yeah, so it's the big scope. Yeah, we need to think about it, maybe spend more time to think about how to manage this.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what the group here for. I think group of rules will be helpful, so we don't have to get into too specific every details. But I think as long as those rules are covering those kind of ranges, right? If they're all kind of diameter related or VR and things like that, then there can be similar kind of rules. Similar kind of format. We don't have to define every single of them, right? All the micro bumps, different sizes.
Yeah,
they have a similar kind of rule. So as long as we cover all different sizes and of them, then we should be fine to have one rule there, and then let the assembly or the designers, I think, or customer define whatever the rules they want to, then they can use the same field for that.
Yeah, correct. Just like if we have the selection table, we don't need to care the body size or the package type, BGA or CSP or the fan out. We just focus on the solder board, connect to the PCB board. Then that's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be one way to look into it. As long as cover all different packages like I required, I think then that would be a good way to tackle the problems.
Yeah.
Again, we're initially focusing on 2.5 and 3D for now.
2-layer and 3-layer with the thin core or coreless. Or you mentioned RDL.
Yeah, RDL is needed. I think for the 2.5D.
Yeah, we need
very common.
So we need silicon interposers, fan out, and hybrid bonding, for stacked die. Those are the main ones that we're focusing on now. We may get into some of the more legacy packaging technologies later, but this is really the chiplet design exchange, so we want to really focus on these formats initially, but they can be extended. I think from the PCB side, JEP30 is already supporting that, so we're kind of driving from advanced packaging. So I think traditional packaging is kind of in between, so we can do that. But people already have they've been doing packaging, traditional packaging, for many years. So I think they already have existing solutions. What we're talking about here is stuff that is kind of new and painful for people that are doing to this, and we're trying to standardize to make it more uniform and easier to adopt for a broader class of users.
All right.
Yeah, especially in technology taking more and more complex with newer, more advanced technology. I think this is actually, I think that will even more needed today compared to before.
Yeah. So James, we're all set up on schedule for the next meeting. Yeah,
right. Next meeting, I think that will be a first week of January, right? So we'll send out the reminder to everyone.
Has it been sent out, or it will be?
I will send out that. I think I will remind everyone before that. Yeah, I think this one we just kind of like some cancellation. I think by accident. I think on the OCP side, I think in general, so we will make sure that should not happen in future. Yeah.
Right. So there's nothing next week, correct?
Nothing next week. Yeah, because between holidays, so everyone is off. So yeah.
So on the 4th, I do see the 2 meetings. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had 3DK. Next one is January 4th.
Yes.
So yep, it's on my calendar. Okay. And then we got MDK. Okay. So we resume again next year. So
yeah.
Thanks everyone. Happy holidays and a happy new year. And we'll
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
we'll see you.
Thanks everyone.
James, can you hang on? James, can you hang on?
Happy New Year. Yeah, sure, Michael.
All right. So okay, thanks. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
So you got the email I sent to you regarding the JEP30. You have until tomorrow now to come back to me and say, right, that we go or no go, or is there something wrong or not wrong on this?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be here in the tour meeting, so we'll like talk about it if there's anything that we need to talk about that.
Right. I forgot that we had a holiday tomorrow, but anyways, I'll still attend that meeting. There are some other people that have already sent me their recommendation on email. That they think it's okay and they wanted to proceed with the submitting it to vote, but they and they will not be at the meeting tomorrow. So I expect that there'll be very few people at the meeting tomorrow, right? So let's hope that that you haven't found any major flaws in it.
Yeah, but you still will be, but
Yeah,
you are
go
still
ahead.
holding meeting tomorrow, right? It's
Yes,
still on,
yes,
right?
I'm still going to
Okay, yeah, I
hold.
think I will join in. If anything, I will provide feedback in the meeting then. Yeah, I have that put up my order, so it will take time to take a look before the meeting.
All right. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is, I have been working with JEDIC for a while now, and I understand that from your position, it would have been very, very difficult to get a full picture of the proposed changes that we're making on a JEDIC standard without actually getting access to the documents. So the existing MOU does not cover me to give you those documents, hence the reason why I had to get a special concession to send you out those. I think that if we're going to go ahead and standardize the design rule kits with OCP contribution to JEDIC and getting them released through JEDIC, we need to modify the MOU so that the standards, so that the discussion documents can be shared with yourself and Jawad and David on an ongoing basis instead of having to jump through the hoops like this every time.
Oh,
so if
do you mean like what we return in the email is only one time only? Can we use that as like kind of apply to all the following kind of
no, that I have to put into that email that statement every time I send you out something.
That's annoying.
And
yeah,
that's annoying. And also you are not allowed to share that with any other OCP member. In fact, you cannot even share it with James, and James cannot share it with you. You get the document only from JEDIC in the way that I send it to you. I have to send it separately to Jawad and to David with that clause on it, right? Which is a real pain, right? And so what we're proposing to do is to make a change to the MOU to put that language in there so that by signing up to the MOU, then I don't have to individually specify it on a email by email basis.
I thought this already in the original MOU. Why it was not there? That's kind of surprised.
Because JEDIC had the board had said we would never send out documents from pre-published documents outside of the standards body. Period. Right? They can share it with you on the meeting, but we cannot give it to you.
I thought the MOU was different what we agree on actually. I think initially, I think where we supposed to be, I think granted, I think the JEDIC membership, so we should be treated as a regular member. With that,
right?
Other and sharing and attending, we should be attending and getting those documents as well. So I think that was original proposal, right? I thought that should be in the MOU.
Well, they went back and looked at it again,
kind of like
and
a separate kind of treatment for us. We supposed to just like a granted members for have access. I think convenient for this kind of collaboration. So then that will not have to be like this kind of like individual kind of a separate kind of like agreement, right? To differentiate all these things, right?
So
that's what we're asking originally.
Right.
I think we should stick with that one instead of like having this kind of like I think like a special permission or something like that. It's supposed to be like granted us as a regular JEDIC member for representation from the OCP side.
All right, yeah, but it's like there are a few differences here, James. So the MOU covered the information that we specifically discussed at the meetings. What it doesn't cover is that once I put that information into the JEDIC standard and I send you the JEDIC standard, now you have the entirety of the JEDIC standard, and any other discussion that goes along with in which OCP were not engaged in. And I give you an example. We modified the identity of the part to also put in the identity of a standard into the JEP 30 piece of it. Now that doesn't have any impact on the work that I'm doing with yourselves, but now you still have access to that, and it's still in pre-publication stage. And so JEDIC says you're getting when I give you this document, I'm giving you a lot more than what we discuss within our meetings. And so now you become like a true JEDIC member in all its capacity. And so therefore, that's what they want to cover. And that was not covered in the original MOU.
No, I think, yeah. Why don't you propose that in the MOU? Want to see that?
Yeah.
More carefully. I think we want to make it very simple. I don't want to get very complicated.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and this again every time in future, if there's something different, something we not might be able to do, then we'll have to come to do this kind of asking again, right? I think
yes. So we're doing
the smooth. For the smooth like cooperation, like we should be kind of like just a regular member, right? Just another member. Then there should not be a specific treatment or specific question in future at all. Just say one sentence, say like, you will be granted membership to OCP member for cooperation. That's it, right? So and then that will regular member will help to facilitate.
I'm going to let the lawyers figure that out with Cliff. I don't have time to get into all that detail. So let JEDIC and Cliff work that details out. Okay. So the one other thing that you need to remember, you asked me before about this, is that you wanted to get access to the presentations that we were having at the task group meetings, and you wanted to share that with the rest of the OCP community. And that is something you cannot do.
I got the part, so that's fine. I mean, if that's the one, then I think if that's part of the restriction on the membership, right? Then they have to bind to that rules, right? So I think that should be fine. I understood. And that I thought for collaboration, I think I just trying to help. I think this is more kind of like special collaboration between two teams, like getting other people feedback should help this to enrich this kind of like standard as well, right? It's not like I want to share it just because I want to share, right? I want to share mainly because I want to benefit this collaboration relationship, right? But if that information you share coming from the JEDIC side is not to share for benefit of JEDIC, then sure, we don't do that. But like from what everything information that original from OCP, we all share with OCP members, right? People we send to
Okay, perfect.
And for those, and one more thing to add on that, but for those original information that's shared from the OCP side later incorporated into JEDIC side, we want to be able to retro feedback into the OCP also if there is any changes, so that we can provide further feedback and accept or not. You see what I mean? Like that one we probably have to recognize that. You see what I mean? Because those sources originate from the OCP, I think it's good to feedback with the team here so that we all agree in the team here, right? If there are any changes.
Yeah, but you're not proceeding. I'm late for another meeting now. Maybe we can continue this at tomorrow's meeting. Because I'm supposed to be on an NDIA meeting 15 minutes ago.
Fine. Yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
Bye.